Alright, got a different camera angle set up. Hopefully you guys will be able to see. Get everything rearranged here. Right now I have just straight burnt umber in the airbrush. Like I said, I'm just working on the darkest area today. Building it up slowly. I'm trying to stay out of the camera's way. Make sure you guys can still see all this. You can see the more you add to it and the more you build the layers, the richer and deeper and everything it becomes. That's why I'm trying to stay with her out of the way, which may cause me to make some mistakes. But you know what? As Craig Fraser says, there are no mistakes, there's new directions. And I've been known to take some directions before. But, you know, that's a different story. Notice I didn't even move to get up there in that darker spot. So this brings him out a little bit more and gives him a little bit more light, or death, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, straight golden to 0.18 flows just fine. It doesn't get nobody's way. And now you can see the cracks and stuff coming in a little bit more consistent. Well, I might be in your all's ways right now, but you'll get over it. Getting some cracks laid in here. But now you can see it's starting to shape up a little bit more, get a little bit more depth to it. Starting to look a little bit more wicked. Now I'll try to see if I can't do this hair. This hair I want a little bit darker. So for it, I'll have to find my violet. Y'all excuse me while my big old head's in the way. He has to take shots. Let's see. Too many paints. There it is. Using permanent violet dark. Up the cap of this thing. We're going to put one little drop in. And I may reduce this, put a drop of reducer in it, just to help it mix it a little bit better. And let me do a spray out. See if that's enough, or if I want more. Yeah, I want a little bit more. Then we'll add another drop of violet. Basically, you just kind of keep adding till you get the darkness you want. And see, that's a lot darker than what the original was. So that's what I want for the hair. And the hair, just this thing's. You don't have to be exact with it, because I'm going to come back in and do some scratching. You just want to lay it in. You want to have some dark lines over some light. And I know this area up in here is going to be super dark because It's where it rolls over. So I'm starting to lay the hair in on this thing. And you got to know your direction. So from here to here, I got to kind of start straightening it out some because it's curving back the opposite way there. But and I'll put me a divider line in here so I know where to make the transition at. And one thing about it, after you get your layers in, coming back in and ghosting over it like that, it just adds more depth and more roundness to it. And this is just the way I taught myself how to do hair. I'm not doing photorealistic. It's a little bit better than cartoonish. There's a bit of overspray out there I'm not really worried about. I can clean that up with a blade, clean it up with an eraser. Pretty much clean it up with whatever you want it to clean up with, as far as that goes. If you're doing a really dark background, then you wouldn't worry about it. Now, before I go any further, let that dry for a minute or two while I dig me out a blade. And on the blade, pretty much just go, because I have scalpel knives too, but I know that I've found that the thin blades go good. Usually whenever I do the scratching, I'll lay it down so I can get the right angle. And right now I'm just testing to see if I've got enough paint on the surface to make good scratches, which right now it didn't appear to be. We'll find out here in a minute. Try the Baker blade. Yep. I'll put some more paint down. Not a big deal. Might be taking a little bit longer to dry too because it's raining outside today. Of course, that's Indiana, Easter Sunday weekend. Weather goes haywire. But this is for James because he said put it over my left shoulder. He wanted to see what I was doing better. So we'll see how it works out over my left shoulder. Alright, we'll see if that dries enough. Trying to make him look like a monk knight. Been dead a day or two. You know. I'm at probably about 15 psi today. Now I'll let this dry overnight and then do the scratching tomorrow. But we'll see here. Take this blade off some. Okay. It's showing up a little bit better now. Actually, usually I do this with laying down. Just for me, it's easier. I'm not sure how well it's showing up in the camera, but we'll see. Sometimes you find out also that your blade scrapes better one way than it does another. You just have to and I'll probably go over this hair 5 or 6 times, going back and forth between scraping and paint, scraping and paint, building up more layers as I go. Main thing is you don't go super heavy-handed. You keep a light hand on it. I can find one of my bigger blades in here. It's rounded. I'll show you the difference in the advantage and disadvantage of using different blades. You wonder what I'm doing, I'm cleaning off paint, because sometimes they're laying on the table when paint spills. And that kind of is detrimental to it, but as you can see, you get a wider, wispier with a round blade. Now you can see it looks a little bit more like hair. Starting to get depth to it, starting to get highlights to it. And this is where you just start basically ghosting over it. So 4 or 5 inches away, you just kind of come in and knock it back some. Not a lot of paint, just a light layering. The more you go over this, the more hair-like it will look. And then since you've got all the darks laid in, you can empty out your airbrush, clean it out, and then put just the regular burnt sienna back in for the super highlights. That way it doesn't look stark white. You'll have a few starker white hairs, but you're not going to have a lot. So I'll just put some straight when you're doing hair, you do want to reduce your paint a little bit, even though it will spray through the airbrush. Mainly because it makes it more translucent. It's easier to deal with. Now I'll come back in with that round blade and give me a few more highlights laid out in here. Then with a few more highlights laid in, that starts giving you the different tonings of hair, layering. Wind's picking up pretty good outside right now. But then I can also use this for my shadow color of my hair and give it a little hue below the hairline. Make it look like it's laying over the hair. A couple of places I need to bring it down. And then we'll put 3 drops of violet in. Turn this almost black. I'll show you what I'm talking about on mixing new colors. And hitting the darkest spots, which would be the eye sockets. Now, as you can see, so far no black has been used. Now you can use it to push all that stuff back further and concentrate on your darkest areas. See, it's just a matter of pushing and pulling. And playing with the shadows. you got other textures you can throw in there. And you can just keep playing with it until you get it where you want it. Like I said, it doesn't have to match exactly what the reference looks like. It has to match what you want it to look like. And I think he looks pretty good right now. I don't think I'm going to mess with him a whole lot more. We'll pitch this back. There. And I think that's pretty good for the skull. And that's pretty good for today. I got to get ready to go get my kids, so.